Welcome to the channel, folks. Clunkers and Classics. Where we are back on the 67 Camaro. Okay, last episode we welded in this whole cowl dash panel, painted it, put a new windshield in, replaced the top roof brace. Yeah, I did quite a bit of work, and she's looking good. Okay, so this subframe is completely wasted. You can see, I don't know what that is right there. Anyway, they done a Dukes of Hazzard here. You can see this bottom piece all bashed in. And what I noticed the other day, this piece of metal here got a crack right here. Don't know how that happened. But yeah, they welded in a piece of metal. This front end is just wasted. Everything's shot. You know, this car sat in somebody's backyard for 35 years. So all these little bushings, everything's gonna be shot. Ain't gonna be no good. It's got to be completely rebuilt. It does have a sway bar right here, although the end links are all busted for it. Coil springs are sacked out because you can look at all these spacers here. Drum brakes. So this whole subframe is completely wasted. I said that at the beginning of the build. Subscriber reached out and said he had another subframe. You can see all this too. So I drove all the way down there, about 3-hour drive. Gave me a bare bones subframe with nothing on it, but it looks good. But it needs everything. You know, there's nothing on it. So if this was a high-end build, yeah, you would take that bare bones subframe and you would buy all the tubular A-frames and the new disc brakes and all that stuff. New sway bars, all kinds of stuff, and spend, you know, well, the price of these disc brake conversions and stuff is just through the roof now. So you could spend thousands. 3,000 would be easy to do. So we're not going that route. So you could just rebuild it factory wise, but take out these, fight with them, get a press, put in new bushings and stuff. But okay, so when I had the 277 parts cars when I bought this car from old guy down in Belton, Texas, and that, of course, that was on my mind. Well, you know, I got a subframe off a second generation, and I mentioned to him, I says, do you think that'll bolt on there? And he's like, oh, my friend did it. It's just the steering box is in the wrong spot and you have to use a different column or something. So this steering box, now this is manual steering. The steering box is here. On a second generation, it's up here. You can look at this one. See, the steering box is here. And everything's all different because of that. Everything's all laid out different, all the steering stuff. So regardless of what I do, this has got to come off and in the shit can pile, just junk. Okay, and we got to take it off because we're going to pretty up. There's the floor. You can see the floors there where I welded them in. So what we're going to do is grind them, smooth them out, pretty them up, and paint it, truck bed line it, stuff like that. Gonna clean it up real good. This toe board, it's really, well, it's a little bit messed up there, but this is the hole right here. You know, whether we want to just patch that up or put in the whole toe board, I'm not sure. But all this heater core stuff is going to come off. It's not a factory AC car. They bent the heater core. So all that's going to come off. We got to clean up all this firewall. Oh yeah, it's rotted in here too. I have to see with that toe board. It may not reach all the way up there. Whatever, we got to repair all that. I started on this side here. I chiseled out all the caulking here and put 415, sanded it, put 415 in it, and then a little bit of seam sealer. So when I had some extra stuff, I did this part here. Of course, we got to do it all the way, the whole rest of the firewall. So the goal is, on this video, I think, to take out the subframe, clean up all the underneath, paint it all, truck bed line, undercoat, everything, paint all the firewall, and basically get it ready to, because see, the subframe's going to be in the way anyway on some of that stuff. So, and like I said, it's wasted. It's got to come off. So we might as well do it now. And then get a subframe ready to put under it, whether I use the old 68 bare bones one that a subscriber gave me, or one from a second generation. This looks like it was starting to crack or something here. So, okay. So I think that's where we're going to start right now. Just take out the subframe, get it up on jack stands, take out the subframe, clean up underneath here, and get some area to work on. Okay, so you see me, if you watch the floor videos, took off the two back bolts. Here's the two front ones right here. And the bolt heads are down here, and there's where it comes through. They should come off. I'll spray some WD-40 in there. But yeah, we got new bushings. But you can't just undo the 4 bolts and pull it out. We got to, here's the fuel line here, which is going to be replaced anyway. You got to undo the fuel line, the brake line from the rear brakes is right here. I think I got most of that loose, so we can take it off right here. And then we got the emergency brake cable, which I had access to take that off when I had the driver's floor out. Anyway, it's just one clip, and I don't even know if this emergency brake cable assembly works or not. There's the cable right here. And then it goes through this frame rail here, and there it is hanging right there. So we just basically just got to pull that through. The Blazer rear end cables are over there, and once the new subframe's in there, we can mount that, because it's going to take a couple little brackets and mount it to the side and connect this, and it should work. Anyway, we're getting too far ahead of ourselves. We just want to disconnect that cable, get it out of the way. Okay. Then the steering box, which is, I don't know if we can undo that bolt and slide it, or take it off this reg joint. Either way, no, it ain't even connected here. It's supposed to be bolted into here, the steering column. It's just all loose. It's got to come out anyway. So if we do second generation swap, we'd have to change steering columns. I don't know if it'll fit in here, but I do have an extra column that's tilt that'll go from there over to the steering box here. Okay, so the advantages of a second generation is a lot, kind of like the rear end. You'll have power steering, have disc brakes, sway, although that does have a sway bar. It's better design and everything, so it'll have a lot of upgrades, just like the rear end does. So is it the same dimensions and everything like the old man told me? I don't know. That's one thing. Well, we got to pull this anyway. We're going to measure it. We're going to measure the bolt holes from there to here, make sure they're the same, go crossways too, and I guess, you know, like from this bolt hole up to here, because we need the core support and everything to line up, although we could make anything fit. I do have a new core support for this. They range from $80 to $300, and I bought the $80 one, so we're gonna see. This one was fixable, but all this was rotted here. That's where it mounts to the subframe. So yeah, could I have fixed that? Probably, but for 80 bucks, you get a new one. Okay, so we're not going to worry about that right yet, but that's got to line up to the second generation subframe. So this is where it went here, there, and there. So we will measure that. But yeah, mainly it's the 4, 2 on this side, 2 on that side. And then just put it up on jack stands and just roll this out. Leave the tires on it and you can just roll it right out. Now, we'll do that, and then we'll decide, measure it, decide if we want to use a second generation. I got 2 subframes over there, used. Don't know how good they are. I haven't driven the cars or anything. But this car, if you've been following along on this build, found the receipts. This is all new stuff here. It's new rotors, new calipers, new wheel bearings, new bushings. Well, it's 5 years ago. New bushings, new ball joints, new shocks. It's several $100s worth of stuff, and that's 5 years ago. Now it's, you know, parts are doubled, tripled in price since then. So you know, who knows? This is probably 500 bucks worth of stuff. Already, yeah, probably way more than that. So should I unbolt this whole assembly and put it under there, and then put a used one with, you know, old used parts underneath here? Because we're just selling this, going to try to sell this as a roller right now, and then if it doesn't sell, I can't make money on it, or very much money, to build the other Camaro Z28, then I'm going to go ahead and build it even more. Probably put a drivetrain in it, get it running. If it still don't sell, then paint it, and you know. So, do I want to use this whole front end? The only problem is there's no brake lines or nothing hooked up to this. I got them. I think that's the rear. They took everything off this car, so it's kind of like those cables, and I'd have to hook them up to the calipers and run them up to the master cylinder. If we do this swap, we're going to use the whole new master cylinder and brake booster as well. Put all that in here. Yeah, no big deal, but there's pluses and minuses, mostly pluses. Well, pluses and minuses of taking this one off instead of taking a used one off a parts car and putting it under here. If I do that, then I got to start all over and do what these guys did and rebuild all the components. But eventually I'd have to do it to this car anyway, I think. But who knows? But anyway, just giving you guys an idea of what we're doing. So yeah, let me disconnect this stuff, get her up on jack stands. 2 back bolts there. They're brand new bolts, hardware, bushings, and everything we did on underneath the floors there that bolted the seat brace. They're going to come right out. Of course, we'll get new ones. We got new ones for the front here too. But anyway, these might be the most difficult ones. They might see this little thing to hold the deal on that it bolts in. That might break and start spinning. But at least we got access. We can either weld it in there and take it, or I don't know. We got to get it off. Anyway. So we may run into some problems, but okay. So I think that's the plan. So let me get rolling on this. Sun's coming right over the garage and just beating down, but I'll be underneath here for a little while, so I'll be out of the sun. So I think that's the plan for this video anyway, to at least get the subframe off, clean up, paint all underneath there, undercoat it and all that, and we'll go from there. Okay, I'll be back. Okay guys, I got it out of there. Okay, so just disconnected these brake lines. Took the bolt off that steering shaft, and yeah, I'd only had 2 bolts holding it on there. Slid it forward. Okay, this is the gas line that we're going to replace, and then this is the brake line that we're going to replace. I cut that one because it was kind of in the way right here, kind of in the way from trying to get it loose. We got those 2 out, but anyway, we don't need it. Okay, those are the 2 new bushings I had in the back here. Match them up with the old ones. We're gonna match the 2 front ones up. They look to be about the same, and we'll get them ready and mark them that way. You know, they're supposed to be different widths and everything, but who knows? I know the core support is, but okay. So yeah, we'll take this whole brake line out of there, so you can see where the welding wire went through the screw holes and stuff. We still got to kind of patch this hole here, I guess, for some aftermarket shifter they had on there. But yeah, basically we're just going to clean all this up, maybe tack weld a few spots, maybe seam seal it and all that, and some of them screws there we'll grind the ends off. And yeah, we need to, oh yeah, I wanted to weld the bottom of this floor thing here to the rocker. We may put some tacks on that if I think it needs it. It probably don't, but I welded the hell out of it from up top. But yeah, that's what we need to do under here. Get all this cleaned up, undercoated and all that, and then yeah, we'll work on this toe board area here. Get all this done and painted, and then worry about the another subframe for it. But yeah, there's the emergency brake cable here that comes through that hole there and comes out here, and it has this clip on it, and then that goes to the two brakes on the back. Like I said, I think we can use that because the S10 Blazer rear end has the same cable thing that goes through there. So but yeah, that's about it. We'll save this for parts. You know, we got the transmission cross member. We may need that and some other miscellaneous parts, bumper bolts and stuff, but other than that, yeah, we'll save the steering box and stuff. But most of it's just going to be garbage. Okay, well, I'll be back later. Okay guys, back at it tonight in the dark. Okay, I did some rough measurements from this subframe. Of course, I can get great measurements because it's out of the car. Measure from here to there, from there to there. Trying to get them on this one's a little bit more difficult to find center to center hole, but it seems about 1 inch to 2 inches in some places off, especially across. On that one I measured from the outside of the frame, and I don't know, it was 1 inch difference, and then it was a 2 inch, 3 inch difference from that hole to that hole, from what I could roughly measure. So I don't see how one of these would fit, or a newer one would fit, without some serious modification. Like, you know, re-drilling holes and everything else. Cutting off brackets. The only way I could really tell is to take this front end off. Take this subframe off right here. I'm going to have to move this car backwards, take it off right there, roll it out from underneath of it, get it up side by side, and start measuring and see where I would have to cut and re-weld brackets and stuff like that. But I don't know. You know, this one's got a whole complete rebuilt front end. This one's junk, needs everything replaced, and it's going to cost me thousands of dollars to redo everything. You know, the disc brake conversion and rocker or tubular A-frames and all that. You know, I did all that on my Nomad years ago, and I think it was $1,100 or $1,000 or $1,100 for most of it. Well, it's up to $1,700 now because of tariffs. So saying it was $1,795, and that's, I don't know if that's including everything. I don't think that was including the coil springs, and that was the disc brakes, tubular A-frames. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to think on that. Anyway, I took off the that's a blower motor there. Took off that cover. This was all the shit that came out of here. This goes down to the vent that comes out the passenger side. So once you take this off, then this will just push out from underneath, but it's still got some stuff connected to it, so I just kind of pushed it out of the way. Heater core had to be replaced because these were all smashed up. But what we're going to do is this is bashed up here. That's why I mainly had to get that out of there, to bang this down, straighten this out a little bit. I have to cut that out. So this is the toe board. See, that covers a lot of area. We don't need it to cover that much. So what we're gonna have to do is cut it right in here somewhere. And we're gonna weld it right in here, and then it will overlap right here. So we'll overlap that. But the only thing it doesn't cover is this rust hole right there. So we're just gonna have to do something with that. See, that's right at this curve here. It's right in here. So yeah, and that way we'll get rid of this rust hole here too. This rust hole and that rust hole. You know, I got it, I might as well cut it up and put it on. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna cut out a section there and weld that on. Or fit it on. My welder screwed up there last night. I don't know what happened to it, but I couldn't fix it. I even had a parts one that had screwed up, same make, swapped everything around, circuit boards, and then it still don't work. Gets power, it just doesn't. But I got another cheap welder, but I don't really like it. It was from a sponsor years ago, but I might have to go down to Harbor Freight and buy another one. I was going to do that today, but I didn't get to it. So anyway, if it doesn't weld worth a shit, we'll have to wait till tomorrow. But we got lots of work. We can start grinding all these welds here, tap all this around, and fit good, very good right there, that corner. We're going to have to tap that around and fix that. And like I said, we're going to clean up all this caulking and crap and sand it down, pour 15 it, and get it. And after everything's done, we'll paint it all. Anyway, let me get some work done. I'll be back. Okay, guys, I cut this piece up, and I cut out that rust hole right there, and we're gonna put that in something like that. I'm gonna screw it all in, and once we get it into place there, we'll figure out what we want to do with this. It's gonna be kind of a weird little indentation there to make a patch, but we'll have to do something. But yeah, let me get that put in there, and I'll be back. Hey, Nikki, how you doing, girl? Nikki's a good girl. You don't have to hide in there. You can come out and play. Okay, guys, I want to show you what I got done last night. I'm fixing to come out here as soon as that sun, about a half an hour, goes below them trees. Okay, so I got this patch welded in there. That's part of the toe board patch. Did a little grinding. I was still gonna make this little patch here. Did some welding down here. Had to cut this. Now this welder, I don't really like it too much, but it held. But I grinded some of it off. I got to do some more. I just not used to it. A little cheap welder. It doesn't have a setting for voltage, just for this wire speed coming out. I'm gonna try and mess with it a little bit more. But anyway, yeah, I gotta re-weld all this stuff, because it's hard to fill it. You know, like I'm trying to fill in areas like this, and it's hard to fill it in with that gun. It's hard to explain. But anyway, I grinded a little bit up here, see, and we'll do some more tacks in here, and basically we're gonna prime and seam seal it all the way down. Underneath is pretty good. We can just scuff it and shoot it, except for a few spots. I put some more welds up here underneath. Anyway, fixing to come out here in about a half an hour and trying to finish this up. And then I was scraping the old seam sealer off of it, and had some 80 grit sandpaper, old sandpaper, and just kind of scuffed. It's got to be sanded real good. Notice this this is not right. It's got a, I don't know if that's right or not, but all that's got to be replaced anyway. So I'll probably take it off before I paint it. And we're gonna put some like 415 over these areas here, and then I think we'll go flat black. That are painted up the cowl and everything with. We'll paint it all flat black from here down, and yeah, but it's got to be sanded a lot better. Just so I went over it roughly while I was knees were hurting bending down here welding and stuff, so stood up and did a little sanding to but anyway, there's a dent here. I don't know if I want to fix that. There's something right here. See, there's all these contours here, but this looks like a dent. I don't know if I'm going to take that out or not. I think this is for the throttle cable, and that's all loose. We'll have to take that off. And then this June bug crawling up my back. This looks like it was extended or something with some JB weld or something. So this ain't right. Anyway, I don't have any. Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna get back at it. See if I can make a little patch with this. I'm thinking about cutting a little piece off with a little indentation in it there. See if I can match it up to this and weld in a little piece. Anyway, that's what I'll be doing later. Weld in a little patch there, do some more welding, do some more grinding, and all that stuff. So I'll be back later. Okay, guys. I cut out a little piece right here and put that in there. I didn't want to do it, but I think I'm going to mix up some of that Dynaglass stuff, and just do those little areas there. But go ahead and do like underneath here, smooth it out just a little bit. I know nobody's going to see it or anything, but it's just going to bug me a little bit. Yeah, I'll just smooth out some of these seams here a little bit. Not going to go overboard on it. Like I said, really underneath here, I was just going to put a coat of seam sealer over it, and that's what I'll do from here back on both sides. Put some seam sealer and undercoating and stuff. But the firewall is going to be smooth and painted, so we're not going to put no undercoating or nothing on it. But anyway, just been doing a little bit more sanding. Yeah, this is the throttle. Yeah, it's hooked to the gas pedal. I'll have to take that off, but the bolts are, I can't. No, I'll have to cut them off. Anyway, yeah, let me mix up some Duraglass, smooth out them areas. Like I said, I like to put a little 415 in those little areas, and then underneath where it's, surface rust, and then we'll paint the whole thing. Well, then seam seal it and then paint the whole thing. It won't all get done tonight, but anyway, I'll be back. Okay, guys, put a little filler, smoothed it out. Oh, there. Started grinding on this side here, but I'm not going to do anything there. Just underneath on the edge here, I might put a few welds. There's some screw holes on the bottom of the floor, and maybe along that rocker edge I'm going to put a few more welds. Then I got to get to this side here. You can see all the, got to clean that up. But anyway, I got a little can of black primer and paint all in one spray can. I'm just going to spray can this on there. It's like 20, 30, 40% chance of rain the next 3 or 4 days. Crazy. So I'll get this covered for now till I'm ready to paint the whole thing. Just put a little paint on there just in case it does rain. Although shit, it's gonna get all in here. I guess I could cover that up with something. Anyway, I'll be back. Okay guys, I'll show you what I got done last night. This is got this heater box. I'm doing it in the dark, so I missed a couple spots, but this blower motor's free. Anybody want to take bets on it that it'll work? This is a bracket for the wheel well, but as soon as I painted it, I was blowing the dust off of this and got all over this, so it didn't look that great. But anyway, I put a little 415 on that, and just the areas that had rust on them. And then I went over it with some seam sealer and got the rest of those areas. So, and this is a little bit of that primer and paint mixture there. I did those areas. So then I put some seam sealer all around there, a little bit. Put some little welds and stuff around the rocker to the floor, and then sprayed a little truck bed liner on there just to coat. So basically this side's done. I just gotta do this side. I'm gonna take a grinder and get all these little spots, put some more welds up in here, maybe along here, and little paint and little bed liner stuff, and grind these screws off. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing tonight. And then probably sand these little areas a little bit more, and paint all this hot rod flat black. So that's the plan. Hopefully I can get all that done tonight. I'm not going to worry about this stuff's going to be all replaced, so I'm just going to leave it on there for now. I'm not going to bother taking it off. We can take it off and touch it up later. Okay, well, that's what I'll be doing, and I'll be back later. Okay guys, I actually finished this last night, but now it's the next night. Got all this painted, looks pretty good. I went ahead and masked off the body tag just now. Took the masking tape off. Probably just put like one coat on there. I didn't want a whole bunch of paint built up over the numbers or anything. I'll have to show you tomorrow in the daytime, but all the underneath is all done now, except for the very back below the seat here. I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, it looks pretty good. It's almost ready for the whatever I decide subframe to put in there. We'll have to wait for another video for that. Okay, so I just got really one more major thing to do, and that's this rust hole right here in this rear hump. Don't know how that happened. It's just kind of a weird rust hole. But I had this extra piece there from the 81 C28. So we're going to cut off a section of that and weld it in there. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out with a square hole, and then same with that, and just weld the piece on there. And then underneath, little seam sealer and some truck bed liner. So yeah, really, so I did all these floors from here up underneath there, seam sealed them, primed them, seam sealed them, and then put some truck bed liner on it. And all I got to do is clean up just this little area here. We already did all the back, so this little area underneath just needs to be sanded down and painted after I fix this hole. So that's what I'm about to do now. It's late at night, it's like 1 in the morning, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So okay, you place your bets that this blower motor works. It's there's thunderstorms going all around here, and I just came out and there was a little bit of water. I just blew it off. You can see a few little drops on there, none on the ground, so it just like rained for a few seconds or something. But it's supposed to rain in the morning. So what I want to do is just bolt that on there. I'm not going to seal it up or nothing, because we got to change out the heater core and everything, but I'm just going to bolt it on there so this doesn't get all flooded with water inside. Some will leak in, but it won't be a torrential downpour inside there on the floors. So I'll get my little, see if I can get a jump box. We'll fire that. I don't know if I need a regular, I don't have a regular battery. Oh yeah, I do. Okay, we'll see if that blower motor works, being probably original one and sitting in somebody's backyard for 35 years. I'll be back in a minute. Okay guys, I hooked it up to this battery. There it is. It works. That'll work. Okay, just thought I'd test it out. Okay, I'll be back. Okay guys, cut the old piece out here, and then got the new piece right here. It's gonna go in something like that. Okay, well, let me weld that in and I'll be back. Okay guys, there it is, all welded in. You know, it's a little sloppy, looks a little sloppy because it's a flux core welder. But anyway, I'm gonna put a little paint and seam sealer on it. And then of course when I was welding underneath, got some burn marks through, so I'm just gonna touch that up with some paint. And call it done, other than underneath of it, but yeah. Okay, well I'll be back tomorrow, show you. It's starting to spit out. But I'll show you the firewall and the sunlight there tomorrow. Okay, I'll be back. Hey Nikki. Nikki's my blind German Shepherd if you're new. I got the truck in the way, hopefully she won't bump into it. Anyway, I just got back from the glass guy. As I mentioned in the last video, bought that windshield, 200 bucks. Here's the one for the gold 81 right there, another 200. I thought this was going to be more because it was bigger and curved and all that, but it was 200. 2 months ago, a couple of months ago when I bought it for Bumblebee, it was 130. So they've gone up $70. Here it is here. Now the sticker's on the other side, but it's made in China. He had mentioned that they were starting to make them in the USA or something, but that was China. That's China. So, and he told me it's because of the tariffs. Prices are still fluctuating and all that, and I know why now, because there's a 30% tariff on China. But the other day, I don't know when, a day or two ago, it was supposed to go up to 60%. The last second, Trump tacoed and gave him a 90-day pause. So that was the fluctuation in the prices. He was saying it was going up daily and weekly because they were expecting it to jump another 30%. Now that 30% now, that doesn't include the 25% auto parts. So right now we're paying 55% more for auto parts coming in from China. And it was the 30 was fixing to go to 60. So then it would have been 85%. So that's the deal. It's still not, I guess it's set for 90 days that it's not going to go up. But then after 90 days, it could go up another 30%, which would be, you know, another 30 bucks per 100. So it could go up another 60 bucks. So, yeah, this is real life, guys. This isn't, you know, because someone commented, oh, we don't want to hear CNN and MSNBC bullshit. No, this is real life. This is buying real stuff and paying the tariffs. China don't pay the tariffs. We do, American consumers. I just paid it. 70 for that, 70 for that, 140 bucks extra. If any of you pro-tariff guys, my address is in the P.O. box is in the description below this video. If you want to send me 140 bucks, cover the tariffs, I'd appreciate it. And I'll let you know when I gotta pay more tariffs, so y'all can pay it. So yeah, that's the deal. This is real life. This isn't bullshit on TV, lies and bullshit. So anyway, yeah, I'm just, you know, just getting more pissed off every time I buy parts now, because just up and up and up and up and up. Want to watch a good story? I think it's on YouTube. The CEO of Detroit Axle, big auto supplier there in Detroit. They bought $1 million worth of supplies, $700 and something thousand in tariffs on top of that. He said he's got to close plants and lay off people. And he mentioned all the small and middle companies like his, they're all gone. They're out of business. So he's just barely surviving, because he says basically he's the last guy standing that's selling these parts. So if he goes, then all the parts go. There's nobody to supply the parts. So that's what's really happening in the country now. So don't believe this right-wing media, how everything's, you know, we're in the golden age and all this shit. No, we're not. The country's going down the shitter, and the consumers are getting screwed on higher prices. So anyway, yeah, like I said, this channel is you know, it's related to auto parts, building cars. We got to pay the extra. What are we going to do? Shit out a windshield? No, we got to buy it. We're forced to buy it. So yeah, anyway. So yeah, I just stuck this back on there. Keep some water out. 20-30% chance of rain next few days. It didn't rain last night or this morning. It was supposed to have, but anyway, that's what it looks like. It's all painted under here, and some truck bed lining. There's the patch I did up there. I just have to put a little seam sealer and do that whole back little area like I mentioned before. I touched up all the inside here. put a little seam sealer and paint on there, and touched up all the little burn holes from when I put extra welds along the bottom. So yeah, eventually we'll take out this whole, it's still got some cables and clips in there, but we'll take this out, clean it out. Have to order a heater core. I know the heater core on that van went up like 10-12 bucks due to tariffs, but anyway, need a new heater core. This one's all for the hoses, it's all bent to shit. I guess I showed it in this video. But anyway, once I get that, we'll take all this off, paint all this, and mount it back up in there. Eventually, I'll probably get, you know, vintage air, or somebody mentioned there's like vintage air knockoff stuff on eBay for, you know, way cheaper. Whether I go with them, I'm not sure. I think you got to do away with all this anyway. But for now, we're going to build it back to the way it was. And if, you know, if I got to take it out and throw it away or whatever, oh well, later on. But it's a ways away. Okay, so got quite a bit done. Got basically all the floors and firewall and all that done. So there was no wiper motor with this, so that's another thing. Well, I got to buy thousands of dollars worth of shit on this. Like I said, so I did some more measuring on this subframe. It's not going to work. The newer ones, I measured from, you know, across where the bumper meets, from this edge to that edge. This is 1.5 inch difference anyway, longer or shorter. So for me to put on this 67 brackets, I'd have to put right here, I'd have to put a 3/4 inch spacer on each side. And like I said, all these measurements from here to here is off, from there to there, and from there to there, there to there. Yeah, everything's off. Now, could I cut it all up and weld it and all that? Yeah, I could. Or I just got to buy all new shit for the other subframe that I got. That's basically what I'm going to have to do, I think. So anyway, that'll be coming up at some point, but right now, fixing to start the video on this Camaro, the 81, and put the glass in and all that. But I need to go inside and calm down a little bit, because so these tariffs are pissing me off. So anyway, I think that'll be it for this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that stuff. And see y'all next video. Thanks everybody for watching.